Good afternoon. Look at the pretty piece of wood I got for a mount. Look at this pretty piece of wood I got. I'm sitting here in my shop on a workbench. Um, it's a piece of cypress. Looks like it's a part of a knee. Um, it's super hard. It's cleaned up. It has a cavity. I drilled a hole all the way down through it. I know that's not in focus very well. This is going to be a beautiful mount. And I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to put a foul or maybe even two in this, and I'm letting them get going on it. I'm going to show you what I've done. I showed you I drilled a hole through it. I took a wire brush, just a wire brush with a wooden handle on it, just a regular brush, and just brushed it down real good to remove any type of surface dirt or anything. Then I spritzed it down with some bleach water solution, a little bit of bleach, 10%, something like that, mixed in with some water, just a little bit of bleach and some water. And it'll disinfect it. I've looked it over real close, and it's been sitting outside in the sun for a week or so. So I'm not worried about anything else being on it, and it should be good to go. I drilled two small holes, and this is how I do them out. I don't know if you can see that, but I drilled two small holes there. Maybe you can see them now. All right. I don't like it when you hang a mount and it does this stuff. It wiggles and wiggles and wiggles like that. I don't like that. I don't like a mount that does that. They have a tendency to get broken off easier. They have a tendency to the plants to get damaged because of all the movement and stuff. When an orchid is in a tree and it's anchored, it's usually pretty stiff. It's not moving around a whole lot. So I'm going to show you how I do my mount so I don't have that issue. I drill two holes instead of one. And I'm going to have to pause this so I can, it's the only way I can do it. I don't have somebody to help me today with the camera. And I take my piece of wire. This is just some, I'll go ahead and get into that. I'm going to do a wire video showing you guys how to make orchid wires, clips for your pots and stuff. I see people struggling so much, and I can make this I got to have somebody help me do the video. And I'm waiting for the new camera so I can do a really good video on it. But I'm going to do a good video on making those orchid clips, pots, all kinds of stuff. You can make them in any kind of shape and style for any kind of pot and everything, and they are great for holding the orchids in place and managing your orchids and keeping the canes together and everything else. Okay, we can make a really good show about that. Anyway, this is a ceiling. I get this in the acoustical ceiling department at Home and Garden Center, Lowe's, Home Depot. Here's the tag actually, so I don't tell you wrong. It says 12 gauge wire. I might have told some people 16, but 16 is going to be a little bit smaller wire, and it's going to be easier to bend. But you can use thinner wire than this. You can use thicker wire. It depends on what you're trying to do. All right. I'm just going to show you this is what I use, and this is how I do it. I buy these rolls. They're 100 feet. This is like $6, $7 for this, and this will make a lot of clips. A lot of clips. All right. Anyway, back to the mount. I cut a piece off, and I've bent it like this. All right. I'm going to pause here because I'm going to need both hands. All right, sorry about that. Doing what I can. Anyway, that's how I put the wire through. I bend it so it slides right through. All right. And then all I really have to do is bend this one down. All right. Then this one goes up. You see how that holds? That's not going to come loose. It's threaded through there. It's not going to come loose, and you don't have that wobble. You don't get that swing and wobbly effect. All right. Now it is going to have a hook at the top up here, and that hook where it hangs on, there will be some swing up there. But again, I usually hang them on my rack, and so they're supported kind of like they are in my hand like that, and so they stand very still. I think it makes a big difference in your mounts. One, for the longevity of them, because this will not come loose, or it won't break loose. It's less likely to bust out from one hole versus two holes. All right. This will really hold and be here for a long time. I'm not planning on this piece of wood deteriorating over the next 30 years. Not that I'll be here for that, but the orchid, I want it to be its forever home. So we're going to set this up and do this right from the get-go. Okay. And we're going to stop again. All right, we're back again. Sorry to come in and out. Anyway, this is what we end up with. Super simple. All right, but this ought to be a great mount for a fowl coming up here, or a couple of fowls. All right. I can't go out anymore because I can't get around like I used to. So I have a friend of mine who's a dear friend, Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Jackson brings me pieces of wood all the time. When you see some of the pieces of wood up here, I mean, I'll show you this one right here. This is a piece for a mount. Do you see this? Beautiful piece of wood. It's around 4 feet long. But most of this, the red oak and things like that, these are just pieces off a firewood pile. I just take a piece of red oak and split it up and drill holes in it and put hooks on them. I'll hang them out here when I need something. They've already been hanging, they're seasoned, there's no bugs on them, and they're ready to go. All right. He brings me some of these beautiful pieces of wood like this. This is one of our rescue fowls. We're going to get into a video on this because we've had to make a couple of changes with it. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Anyway, he brings me these pieces of wood. Most of these are cedar, cypress, different sizes and shapes, but you want something real hard, you don't want something that's going to rot. Cedar is a softwood like pine, but it has more of it won't decay. It has anti-decay properties and bug resistance. All right. Sometimes just a little piece of this is I think a piece of red oak or might even be a piece of hickory, but this is azalea, actually a piece of azalea. All right. Red oak. Some more pieces of cedar, cypress. All right. I love to use the different pieces of oak and stuff. They seem to really, really like it. I believe the tannic acid that comes out has something to do with the growth and the speed at which some of these plants grow. I think it's real important. I think everybody needs to consider it. Don't discount mounting an orchid. Red oak, cedar, cypress, hickory, ash, poplar will work, tulip will work. You want to stay away from any kind of wood that might have a stone in its fruit, like a cherry or a peach. They can contain chemicals, and they might give off chemicals that are to deter plants from growing around them. It's a natural I guess a protective measure that they've built into their systems. That root looks pretty good on this one. It's still coming, but we've got a lot of growth coming out of that tip, and we thought we might have had a little bit of rot in there, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's a deficiency issue, but it seems like it might be correcting itself. So we have been feeding this one. So anyway, just wanted to show some of the mounts and talk about some of the wood and stuff that I use for the mounts. I've never, ever had a piece of wood that an orchid didn't grow on well, as long as it was, acceptable, excuse me, jerking around there, acceptable wood to use. There's nothing wrong with collecting the wood from outside and using it. Nothing wrong with using driftwood from the beach, but you may want to soak it. And if you're going to use something from the beach, I would recommend that you measure the salinity of the water. All right. At least, if nothing else, take a ppm meter or TDS meter and measure the water. You can get a hygrometer or something if you want to measure the salinity of what's coming out of it and tell when it's gone. But just be cautious about what you're picking. But yeah, mount orchids, they they just go crazy on there. They just go crazy. I've never had an orchid that didn't just, when it was put on wood, didn't just immediately just start thriving. Okay. I want y'all to notice the new leaf is bigger than the old. Wow. Huh. New leaf bigger than the old. That means it's getting nutrition now. All right. Anyway, just wanted to show some of the mounts. This beautiful piece Mr. Jackson brought me. And we may have to do a show on putting this together here. Again, I've got a camera going, and it should really hopefully change the way I can deliver some of the information to you guys, and in a little bit better entertaining fashion instead of such a jerky twitch and nausea style. But I do appreciate everybody's kindness and comments and overwhelming support. It means a lot to this grower. It means a lot to this grower. And like I've said before, one of the best growers hang on my channel, and you guys are incredible proof of it. Have a great day.